ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, those who are listening, watching from the field of language, literature and grammar. Today we will go through Shakespearean age, Elizabethan age, 14th, 15th and 16th century period. How this period is important in the history of English literature. William Shakespeare, who born in 1564 and died in 1616, a dramatist, playwright and a poet, is universally acclaimed as the greatest writer of the world, who is known as the king of literature, because he was a multi-dimensional personality, multi-sided and multifaceted personality, who was the creator, generator and operator of the dramas. That's why we say he is known as the father of essays. Shakespeare, who invented dramas, William Shakespeare, he refined blank verse and perfected a poetic form popularly known as the English sonnet. William Shakespeare, we recollect him, we remember, because of his dexterity and skills in presenting, depicting and portrayal of the tragic feelings of the different characters. In recognition of his contribution, English sonnets have been named after him as Shakespearean sonnet. William Shakespeare, who wrote many tragedies, comedies, out of them we study prominently that are King Lear, Othello, Macbeth, The Merchant of Venice, Much Ado About Nothing, As You Like It, Twelfth Night. These are his important comedies. But Shakespeare preferred to write tragedies. He believed that tragedy brings pity and fear in the minds of the reader. Sonnets have been named after him as Shakespearean sonnet. Some of his remarkable plays are The Merchant of Venice, that he wrote in 1596, As You Like It in 1599, Hamlet was written by him in 1600, Othello was written by him in 1604, Macbeth was written by him in 1605, and The Tempest he wrote in 1611. While interpreting his important poem, The Seven Ages of Man, is an extract from Shakespearean famous comedy As You Like It. These exquisite lines are spoken by Jacques in Act 2, Scene 7. In this monologue, cynical and melancholy, Jacques outlines the 7 major stages of human life. In this poem, Shakespeare calls the world as a stage and human beings as actors. The birth and death of man in this world is equated with entrance and exit of actors on the stage. What a fine example Shakespeare presented for making us understand the situation, condition, position of this materialistic world. The first stage is infancy, when a person is a helpless baby crying in his nurse's arms. The second stage is that of a schoolboy when formal education begins. This stage is represented as a child's reluctance in going to school. The third stage, according to Shakespeare, is that of a teenager when he begins to notice and is inclined towards the opposite sex. Here he falls a victim and sometimes finds himself in a ridiculous situation. The fourth stage is that of a young man. Here he becomes a dauntless soldier, ready to sacrifice his life for the noble cause of defending his country. To achieve this end, that is fame and reputation, he is ready to undertake bold, daring and risky expeditions. The fifth stage of life that we read in the 7 stages of man transformed him into a mature middle-aged man, wiser with experience and a pragmatic outlook towards life. The 6th stage of a man's life is old age. At this age, his body deteriorates physically and mentally. His weak voice reflects his loss of vigor and vitality. This stage gradually pushes him towards the 7th and final stage of his life. This is the stage of dotage and death. He starts losing control over his senses. He becomes bald, toothless, and his eyesight also weakens. He ultimately leaves the world. The 7 ages of man. In the beginning of these lines, he says, all the world is a stage. This world that we have around us, it is like a stage, and all the men and women merely players. All the persons, those who live in this world on this stage, they are acting as an actor. They are playing as a player. They have their exits and their entrances. As per the thought of Shakespeare, he says that a man is working in this world like an actor. When an actor comes on the stage for beginning his act, and after completing his act, he goes back. Likely that man has come in this world to perform his duties. After completing his duties, he has to go back from this stage of the world. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. These all parts are divided in 7 kinds of acts. As a man, single man who performs his duties in this world, He acts and performs differently according to time, place, and action. Likely that a man spends his time in this world. At first, the infant, first stage of the man in this world that he spends in the form of infant, mewling and pucking in the nurse's arms, and then the weaning schoolboy with his satchel. In the first stage, like an infant, he does such actions like mewling and pucking, and he brings up cares by nurses. And in the second stage, he performs in the form of a schoolboy with his satchel, with his bag. He has to go to school and shining morning face. Then we see that man in the form of shining morning face, creeping like snail, means he does not want to go to school unwillingly, but not voluntarily. He goes to school, and then the lover shine like furnace. In the next stage, in that stage, he plays the role of a lover, and his face, his enthusiasm, dynamic power is so high that he shine like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. After this stage, he acts as a soldier, full of strange oaths and woes, and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth, and then the justice. In fair, round belly, with good capon lined, with eyed sphere and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instance, and so he plays his part. The sixth stage shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful horse, well shaved, he word too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all. That ends this strange, eventful history. Its second childishness and mere oblivion